Hello everybody, this is Dee from Dee's Cute and Crafty, and I'm back with another farmhouse video for you today. This is a fall farmhouse video and we are doing Pumpkin Palooza. Yes, pumpkin galore today. I'm trying to do a neutral kind of pumpkin decor with just little pops of color here and there. So let's get into the first DIY, shall we? I will be using some of the Dollar Tree burlap ribbon along with other various ribbons. This is Ofray and it came from Joann's. I have the gray with the white and the white with the gray polka dots, and then I have this Ofray tan and black ribbon, and it came from Joann's as well. I will be using my homemade white chalk paint. I will be using Waverly's chalk paint in steel. I will be using 36 half beads, or what is that, 18 whole beads. I cut these in half. I do have some half beads somewhere that I ordered from Amazon. That just lets you know I need to clean my craft room up because I can't find them. They're in here somewhere, don't know where they are. So I cut some beads in half. Please be careful if you go this route because you can really cut yourself if you don't. I did not cut myself, but you can if you're not careful. I have some of the wired jute cord from Dollar Tree, regular jute cord from Dollar Tree, nautical cord from Dollar Tree, and these ivy pieces of greenery from Dollar Tree. I also have one of these large pumpkins, and you'll need some foam board and some cardboard. I have cardboard galore, as most crafters do, because we save our boxes. So it is just a thin kind of box that I cut. So all I did was trace out the pumpkin form on the foam board and also on the cardboard, and I cut that out because I didn't want to use my actual MDF pumpkin. I want to keep that for another craft later. So in order to make this craft, I just cut it out this way. So I did one in the MDF, and we're going to sandwich this between the two pieces of regular cardboard. And we're going to hot glue that down. So let's get that done. Now we're just going to hot glue the other piece of cardboard down. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the nautical cord all around the edge of the pumpkin before I paint it, because if I get some of the paint on the nautical cord, that's going to be fine with me. So we're just going to go in and put the cording all around the edges, just like this, to give it a finished edge, a finished look, and cover up that MDF and cardboard. We're just going to cover all of that up with nautical rope. This DIY is so stinking cute and super, super easy. I absolutely love it. We are going to cover the back with some craft paper, and again we will be painting the other side. So just going to get this all glued all the way around. Now that we've got the pumpkin trim all the way around with that nautical cord, cleaning up my glue, I am going to give it, I'm going to start out trying to do a light brush with the white chalk paint, but you guys know I get heavy-handed. I don't want to saturate it because this is just cardboard, so I'm going to try to keep it light. I do want to cover the words, of course, but I just want a thin coat to cover it. I don't want it saturated. So this is what it looks like now that it's all painted. I'm not worried about this part because that's going to be covered, the stem, that's going to be covered with some twine. But this is what it looks like. See how you can still see some of the brown, but you can't see the words. You can just see the hint of the cardboard underneath. That is perfect. That's the look that I want because it looks distressed without me having to actually take sandpaper to it because I don't know how well that would do on cardboard. So now I'm going in with my chip brush and Waverly in the color Steel. And we're going to give it a little bit of dimension so it's not so flat. It's going to add to it. And you just do as much or as little as you want, or none at all, whatever is pleasing to you. Gray is the color scheme in my house, so I want my decor, some pieces in some rooms to match. It's not gray everywhere. I can put some orange in the dining room because there's orange color in the dining room. But for the family room and the kitchen, gray is the color there. Okay, that's enough of the steel for me. I like it the way it is. And then I'm just going to take a pencil, clean this up first so I don't get my hand in it. I'm just going to take a pencil and make the curves from the bottom of the indentation of the pumpkin. You want to start at the top and just bow it out. Give yourself a curved line. And I'm doing this because this is where the beads are going to go. And if I curve it out, I'll have a better line to follow, instead of just trying to do it freehand. I will actually have a line to follow, and I'm not being neat with this at all. You don't have to be for this part. I can erase anything that I don't like, and that's why I love using pencil on top of paint, because I can erase it if I don't like it. If it's not quite right, I can erase it. So this is what it looks like now. It's so big it almost doesn't fit in the frame. And now all I'm going to do is take my beads, my half beads, and I'm going to start to glue the beads. Get the beads glued down. Add a little bit of glue. Matter of fact, that line is almost too small. We're going to do 2 lines to make sure the beads stick from edge to edge. There we go. You're going to do a line of beads this way and a line of beads that way. This is what we have once all the beads are down. It is coming along so nice. I really love it when I'm crafting and the thought that I have in my head actually appears on the table when I'm working on it. So now I'm just going to wrap some nautical cord jute all the way around the top of this stem. So let's just put a bead or a little dot or a line, whatever you want to do, across the back, and then just start wrapping. We're just going to keep wrapping until we get it all covered up. So I've got all my pieces of ribbon cut, and now I'm just going to go ahead and dovetail the ends. We're going for that cute messy bow that you guys know that I like right now. I don't know what it is about the messy bow, but I just love it. It's quick, it's easy, and I absolutely love it. So I'm just making dovetails, ducktails, whatever kind of tail you want to call it. It's just a notch at the end of your ribbon. Gives it a more finished look to me, so that's why I do it, because I think it's so cute. If you line them up, fold them in half, then you can cut off 4 ends at one time. I did that one wrong. We're going to leave it though. I didn't fold it in half. I should have did that. But we're going to leave it because it's a messy bow and it really, truly doesn't matter. It's still going to be gorgeous. And then you go ahead and just put your fabrics down the way you want. You can alternate. Just do a crisscross so that when you tie it in the middle, you get that bow feel. You take your twine. You guys have seen me make a messy bow before. And you're just going to put your twine in the middle. Flip it over and tie it down. And that is the messy bow. So I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot. And then we're going to fluff it out. So that you can see all of the colors, all of the different textures. You want to be able to see all of that. And that gets glued down right there. But I want to do some coils. So I have, and I might do some, I don't know, I don't want to do too much, but you know, how could you do too much? I might use some of these burlap roses, fabric roses. Let me see. Let's just untwist these. See if I can stick that under there. And just give it a twist. And then I'm going to put this one on in the opposite direction. Bring it back and give it a twist. That way I can use these flowers again on another DIY if I want to, because they're not glued down. Now that is super cute. So now I want my coils, my little tendrils, and I have some of this wired jute cord, and I also just have some of this 20 gauge silver floral wire. And I think I want to use a little bit of both. I don't know if I want to put them together or put them on separate. I don't know. I think if I do them together, this one's going to get lost. It's going to get lost in the sauce, you guys. So let's do this one on its own. And see if it shows up. Just wrapping it around a pencil. It's the easiest way to do it. You get this cute little coil, if you guys can see that. Yeah, that's going to be the best way to do it, because if not, you'll never find it around that other jute. It'll get lost in that other jute because it's tiny. I'm just going to twist these two pieces together. And then we're going to add these in as well. The bow and the flowers. The top of this is the crown. It is the star of the show. We're going to give it some regular greenery, just some little pieces in there. I think that's going to be super cute as well. So let's get this all glued down, you guys. I'm just placing things where I want it before I add glue. I think we're going to put the bow a little bit askew instead of lining it straight up. Just going to put it a little bit off center. And that is going to be the look. Let's get it all glued down. You guys, this is the finished DIY. I went ahead and added a little pop of orange because after all, this is supposed to be neutral colors with just a pop of color added to it. And I love how this turned out. On to DIY number 2. DIY number 2 is super simple and super cute. We're just going in with this Dollar Tree wall plaque and various paints. I'm probably going to use every single one of these paints. I have the Waverly chalk paint in Elephant. I have Waverly chalk paint in Steel. I have the antique wax. And I have Waverly in Hazelnut and my own white chalk paint. So yeah, we're going to make this look old and distressed. I might even throw in a little bit of my homemade black chalk paint. We're going to make this look like old weathered wood that was on a ship, for lack of a better way to put it. I'm going to use a cork that I cut in a slant. That's going to be the top or the stem, and some little leaves from various other DIYs. And of course, ribbon. This is my pop of color in my neutral Pumpkin Palooza. Let's go. Gonna start off by giving this plaque a nice coat of the antique wax. Let me scuff it up a little bit, make sure, because it looks a little shiny. I want this to stick on here really good, so I'm going to scuff it up. I just noticed before I poured that it looked a little shiny. Let's give it a good scuffing. Get all that off, all of that sanding, get that off of there. And now let's give it some wax. This is watered down already, you guys, and I may have too much on here, but go big or go home. Just going to get in all of those cracks. Now that I've got all of the antique wax on the plaque the way I want it, you decide which way you want it to sit. Do you want a fat, chunky pumpkin, or you want a long, chunky pumpkin? I want mine short and fat. So I'm going to stand mine up this way. And now I'm just going to go in with my chip brush and some of the Elephant chalk paint. Going to do a dry brushing. You guys know how my dry brushing goes. I start out trying to just do dry brushing lightly, and it turns into a whole situation. So just do what's pleasing to your eye. That's what I always say, because it's the truth. It's going to be in your house. Do what you like, be it heavy or light. Make it what you want it to be. And yes, I dry brush vertical and horizontal, because I'm a rebel. I do what I want. Put that to the side for now. That does not mean by any stretch of the imagination we're done with it, but I'm done with it for now. Brushing on some white, and I'm not letting it dry in between. As you can see, I like it when it's streaky and it kind of just runs together. Personal preference. like that muddled kind of look that you get when you don't let it dry. That's it for the white. Going in with the hazelnut. Shake it up a little more. And yeah, we're going to use some of the black. Why not? Just use it all. It's what I had in mind. So let's just do it. Gonna go back in with some of the white and lighten it up just a little bit. But I need to clean my brush in between. Just gonna grab a baby wipe. Quickest way to clean it in between colors. It's just to get as much off as you can. And I think I want a little bit more of the antique or the hazelnut or both. And then I'm going to give it a sanding and see where we're at with it. It's going to come out super quick, so I'm trying to be careful because this is quite watery. Now I'm going to dry it with the heat dryer so that I can sand it. So this is what it looks like. It is old and weathered and rusty and just looks like it's been sitting at the bottom of the ocean forever, which is totally what I wanted. Now let's distress. I like to start with the corners or the ends. Take some of the paint off. Get those edges. Get in those grooves. You distress as much or as little or not at all. Some people hate distressing. I love it. I love taking something that I just made and making it look old. Look at that. That is just so pretty to me. Now we're going to take our cork and glue it down right here. That's why I cut it at an angle so it would sit better. And so it would sit to the side. I want it to be crooked and not straight up and down. Just gonna hold that for a few minutes, and there is a fly in here as always. Just can never craft without being tortured. This is because I let my dog Coco in and out of this office door where I sit. It goes out into my backyard onto the patio, so she's always in here with me, and I let her in and out. And they're just bound to come in. There's no way around it. They just drive me insane. Yes, they do. Just gonna sit that there. And then we are going to make a bow. You guys already know what it is. And we're going to use this ribbon, and it's actually a little thicker than I want, so I may cut it in half. We'll see. Let me see what it's going to look like once I double it over. No, it'll be okay. So we're just going to give this a cut right there. Put that together. And we're going to use some of this pumpkin ribbon that I've fallen in love with. That is going to be my pop of color. Making my little dovetails. I love to double up on my bows. We're going to pinch it in the middle. Just like that. And add some twine to hold it together. So I'm just gluing the leaves down. And then gluing the bow in place. And this one is done. This is the finished rustic neutral pumpkin with just a little pop of color. I love this. This is super cute, you guys. Super, super cute. And I'm going to put a stand on the back, or you can just lean it up against the wall, however you want to do it. It's gorgeous. DIY number 3. For DIY number 3, I am using one of these 11 by 14 picture frames from Dollar Tree. I am using cardboard, and I freehanded some pumpkins. Some, they're not all the same size. Some are a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, but I freehanded, what is this, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. I might only use 6, and I'm using one of these little foam pumpkins. I use the other half in another DIY, but you can get these on a bunch at Dollar Tree. They come on a bunch like this, and I just pulled one off and cut it in half. This will be my pop of orange for this Pumpkin Palooza DIY, and I am using every shade of gray that I have. I'm using silver lining. I am going to use steel. I will be using elephant. I will also be using mineral. It's not really gray, but it's a grayish. It's a beige gray. So we'll be using that as well. So I've already opened this, and I've already taken the little silver clips off the back. And I'm going to just take out the, well, we lost one of those. I'm just going to take out the cardboard, because we will be using that. We're going to paint that cardboard white so that all of this gray pops. So let's just set this aside. Try not to break the glass, because we do want to use that. And we're just going to paint this white. Just a thin coat of white like we did on the first DIY. Thin coat, we don't need a lot, because I don't want to oversaturate this cardboard. It's just cardboard, so I don't want it to be soaking wet. So I've got this all painted the way I want it. There are spots where the cardboard is showing through, and that is fine. That is what I'm looking for. Now I'm just putting in some faux shiplap lines using my ruler. And I'm not even going to smudge them out very much, just with my finger. Normally I go in with a baby wipe and I smudge them out, but my finger is working really well for this, so I'm not even going to use the baby wipe. And this is how it looks so far. I love it. Now I'm just going to take all of my pumpkins. I'm going to paint these various shades of gray, like I said, but I want 3 per section. I've got them all painted except one. We're going to put some silver lining on this one. And silver lining, I had to do 2 coats, because you could still see the writing on the cardboard. So when that dries, it'll get another coat. And in the meantime, I don't know what I was thinking when I thought I could use this as a pop of color. If I put it back in the frame and put the glass on, this is not gonna work. So what we're gonna do in place of that is one of these pumpkin pins from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use one of these. I'm just going to pop this off the back. Maybe. Let me see. See if I can get it off with my spatula. It's on here pretty good, you guys. Okay, so once you get the clothespin or the clip off the back, all I'm going to do is go in with my Sharpies and give it some color. So I have orange, green and white Sharpie, and I'm just going to color this in quick and easy. And then I'm going to use my brown furniture marker for the stem at the top. And again, when you're using Sharpies on natural wood, they do bleed. So keep that in mind. Now that I've got them all painted, I'm just going back and adding definition by drawing those little grooves that a pumpkin has with a pencil, and that's going to be fine. I don't need any paint or anything else to do that. I really like how it looks with the pencil, how it looks shaded. And then this is how the pumpkin pin came out. And now we're just going to put everything together. So you're just going to figure out how you want the colors to go, in what order. Then to make the stem, all we are going to do is use a piece of twine, and I'm just going to cut a little piece of twine and glue it at the top of each indentation once I get them the way I like. Like that. And don't worry about this curling up or anything like that, because once we put it in the frame, it will sit down. At the bottom, I wrote in my own handwriting in a tall, skinny font, mimicking as best I can the Rae Dunn. It's nowhere near that, but you know, I do what I can. I wrote in Pumpkin Kisses, and here is my little pop of color. Gonna add that on, put this all back in the frame, you guys, and it's done. We're gonna put this on just a little bit to the side. I don't want it straight. I want it just a little bit askew. And guess what? There are no ribbons or bows on this one. Can you believe it? Can you believe that I actually did a DIY with no ribbons or bows? Because I can't. So let's just write in. I go in and pencil first. You guys, if you've been with me for a while, you know that about me. And then I go back over it in my Sharpie. And there we have it. Let's put it all back together. And we can call this one done. You guys, this is the finished DIY. And again, I love it. I love all the neutral with just a little pop of the pumpkin orange, just giving a nod to the fact that it's harvest time, but making it neutral and matching my home and my decor the way I want it to. So let's see them all put together. All right, you guys, here are the finished DIYs. How cute is that? Very rustic, neutral, just a splash of orange. I think it's